stuff. How often do you have people on the left accuse you of being a white supremacist?
How often do I have people on the left do what?
Accuse you of being a white supremacist.
It's an interesting point. What am I usually called by them? Well, it depends on what subject they hate me. So, for example, of course, I said on the air many times now, and I've written a column, that women are disproportionately hurting the society. And I have data to back it up. It's not an attack. It's no more an attack on women than it's an attack on men to say that men are overwhelmingly the rapists and murderers in society. But they're so not used to women being criticized because most men are intimidated by women, which is the tragedy of our time. You shouldn't be intimidated by anybody, men or women. But so I was, of course, called a misogynist for that one. If I would speak about the disproportionate role that blacks play in violent crime, then I'm a racist. If I speak about the fact that you're either a man or a woman, I'm transphobic. So it depends on the issue. That's what I'm called on that given issue. White supremacist, I'm sure I have been, but I can't fully keep up with the attacks.
Yeah.
I get a Google alert on my name just to see what's going on. So one of my favorite anecdotes is when people stop me at airports or at restaurants, and it's very common, they'll say, just want you to know, my wife and I love you, or something like that. But then they'll always, or not always, often add, but you always hear that. And to which I always respond, not always. Google Dennis Prager asshole.
What are your thoughts on the comment I heard from Kamala Harris' husband about his role in embarking against toxic masculinity?
Yeah.
Did you hear?
Well, okay, so I have to be careful only that I don't get too ad hominem. I will only say that he neither radiates toxic nor non-toxic masculinity.
Yes. Well said.
Yeah.
I think the biggest problem we have as a society is we find one word, greed.
Greed?
Greed drives everything.
I wish that were true. I am more scared of power than greed.
Well, greed.
I
But
think
don't you think greed breeds power?
No, people who ache to be very rich don't also ache to control other human beings. Some do. Gates does. He's an example of a despicable human being who wants to control other people's lives. But most billionaires, they'd rather have 4 yachts, 6 airplanes, and 100 women than control other people. Your question is important because it forces one to list what really drives evil. I mean, so when you look at communist and Nazi evil, the great evils of the 20th century, it wasn't greed that drove them. It was power and lies. My view is that the most important thing in the world is truth. If people pursue truth, then there would be almost no evil in the world. You could get rid of the police if people just pursue truth. The left is rooted in lies. That men give birth is the most remarkable lie.
Right.
You have to go to the Middle Ages when, tragically, because I know a lot about this, I've written a book on it, Jews were accused in many societies of slaughtering Christian children to use their blood to bake matzah for Passover.
Yep.
And it had a very interesting effect. As I said, I wrote a book on the history of anti-Semitism. The effect it has is very interesting. When you are called something enough, you start to wonder, is it true? Jews were attacked so much in the Middle Ages that some of them started wondering, is it true? Are we that bad? Are we this? Are we that? But then when this is called the blood libel. When the blood libel arose, it had a very positive effect on Jews, because then they knew they really are lying about us. Because every Jew knew you can't have animal blood. It's one of the basic, Genesis has almost no laws. There are 613 laws in the Torah, the 5 books of Moses, the Pentateuch, Torah, and there are very few in Genesis. One of them is do not eat the blood of an animal, because the blood is its life, and that must be returned to the earth. You can eat the carcass, you can't eat the life. Blood is life in the Torah, not death. So Jews knew, wow, they could really say the most absurd things about us. I wonder if men give birth might not have that effect on I think it is already on a fair number of Americans. Wow, the left is sick. They're not just wrong, they're really sick. And they lie with the ease with which people breathe. So I'm a big believer that that evil comes from lying. And that's why I'm very afraid. And by the way, I have a very, very good rule. You should tell all your kids and grandchildren who have no idea how to find truth. Left says X, Y says, conservatives, right says Y. They don't know. Here's a rule of thumb. The lying side is the side that censors.
Yes.
That's right.
That is how you know who's lying.
Say it again.
The lying side is the side that censors, that suppresses dissent. We don't suppress dissent. We couldn't care less if the left speaks, but they don't allow us to speak.
We want them to speak.
Yeah, we
To
want
show
them
them
to.
that they're
That's
wrong.
exactly
That's how
right.
ideas are exchanged.
That's
and
right.
That's
yes.
how you become smart.
That's right.
Well, that's why you cancel shows on college campuses.
That's exactly right, because they lie.
You stop that.
That's
Yeah.
right.